So as far as the Patriot movement, and that's what LWN is, we are part of many patriots out there searching for the truth and delivering the news like it should be delivered. All right, welcome. I got Tamie with me tonight. I also have John Estabrooks is in the waiting room. I'm going to bring him out here in just a minute. I got a question for chat real quick. I can't help it. I can't help it. That new intro is pretty good. If you guys think that intro absolutely kicks ass, put a 17 in the chat for me. If you guys think that War Machine outdid himself yet again, and that new intro absolutely is fire and kicks ass, put a 17 in the chat. With that being said, welcome. And how you doing, Tamie?
You know what? I'm doing just fine, Mike. I like this little late night fiesta we're having here. It's fun times. It's a Friday night. It's a good place to be.
Absolutely, it is a lot going on. We're going to talk about it tonight. Let's bring out our brother John Estabrooks. How are you doing this evening? Well, there he is. How are you doing this evening, John? Uh-oh. I can see him trying to speak, but I don't have a volume. You might have to hop out and hop back in, John. We're not getting it. I see a few 17s in the chat. So if there's a handful of people that like the new intro, what do you think of the new intro there, Tamie?
I think it's amazing. War Machine always seems to outdo himself, and he did it again this time. He upped his game a bit with this one. It's just it's quick, it's easy, it hits the mark, and it's a fun intro. I think very good.
Man, I'm in the back just like jamming out when that thing kicks on. It gets me amped up, and it does kind of just get right to the point. So we're gonna get to the point tonight. John hopped out. He'll hop back in here in a minute. He's got a lot that he wants to talk about tonight, and some of just kind of laying a roadmap here. I know he's going to bring up some stuff clear back from January that John Estabrooks, myself, Stephen H jumped on with us, and we started putting stuff out clear back in January that's just now starting to come out in the news. So I thought that was pretty amazing, John, bringing that to my attention today. Are you there, John?
Yes, sir. You hear me?
Yep, 5 by 5. There you are. How you doing tonight, brother?
Well, I'm vindicated, huh? For all the naysayers of the world, and that was, I guess, that's my takeaway. I often tell folks that conspiracy theorists are being labeled a conspiracy theorist 6 months away from being the truth. Boy, it isn't that a fact, but listen, Mr. Tucker, and everything that he shared, that we shared back on is how many people, how many Americans have taken the vacation, and in taking the vacation, corrected their innate God-given immune system, and plus the permanent disabilities, the effects. What we still are not getting accurate numbers on. Sooner or later, there will be cries the number of miscarriages. It's great to finally see that the Maine might catch up.
You're breaking up there really bad, John, and we're only getting probably every other syllable or so. I don't know if your service, if you're you got some weak signal there or what, but it's pretty choppy. So what John's talking about is what we put out clear back in January over on Podbean and been talking about for quite a while is now finally just hit lamestream media with Tucker Carlson last night that put out people that started taking these vacations right out the gate and even started taking some of those boosters. They're doing studies now, and it looks like their immune systems could be compromised, is what John's saying, and that's stuff that John put out 6 months ago, and everybody thought that we were just conspiracy theorists. Matter of fact, there were people out there that was trying to debunk it. They pulled up articles from Communist News Network and other places saying that this stuff was safe, and it's not true. We actually put out the truth, and so that's what John's trying to relay to you guys. Go ahead again there, John. We'll see if you're breaking up again.
Well, I'm on set of earbuds number 3, so maybe this one will work. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Go ahead.
I'm not breaking up.
No,
you sound good.
Hey, man, I need to get some labels on these things. It is it's encouraging to see that they're putting out something that we shared with our listeners and that we've protected our listeners and hopefully our listeners are sharing the information that we don't feed you garbage. What we feed you is research, data, and boy, I'll tell you what, Brother Stephen was just elated because he watched Fox, but he was really thrilled when I sent him the link. And he goes, what are they going to do about it? And that's the question. What are they going to do about it? Are we going to continue? We know we're killing Americans every week, harming Americans every week. There's enough. It's enough.
It's still breaking up there, John. Sorry to cut in, but it's still breaking up. Let me bring this to everybody's attention as well. I even made a statement months ago when John and I were having these conversations, and stick with us. We're going to talk about the Trump rally. We're going to talk about Steve Bannon as well, and a couple of other things. So stick with us tonight. We got a lot to cover. I know Tammie's prepared. She's got a lot she wants to bring to the table as well. But what I started saying months and months and months ago is, as John was putting out this information saying, hey, there's some issues with this thing that people really need to pay attention to. And I said, well, John, I asked John actually a question. I said, what happens if people end up taking a vacation and by the hundreds of thousands, people start having adverse reactions, being disabled, miscarriages, on and on and on and on. I asked the question, does this set them up for lawsuits? The answer came back, obviously, yes. So we haven't even scratched the surface yet on what's going to happen with this vacation system that they've thrust upon America. It's medical tyranny. So many people were forced to take it for jobs and to go to school and you name it. They unleashed hell on us. And I think this thing is about to come full circle and come back around. It's going to bite them in the ass. What do you think there, Tamie?
Well, we did hear numbers about 3 years. Some of the people that I have in the medical industry were saying up to 3 years, and then there's going to be a rash of expirations, so to speak. So it seems like the ailments and the blood clots, the different ailments are what's going in effect now, about two years in and stuff. So we still got a year to go, unfortunately, to see the results of this. But we have to remind people with this Tucker video, guys, this Tucker Carlson video that John E's talking about, it was amazing because it was also a montage of all these leftists, including Fauci, saying, hey, if you guys did this, everybody's going to be fine. Hey, this pandemic is for the unjabbed people. So you can see comment after comment of these reporters stating, get this and you're going to be good. Get this and we'll be fine. Get this. And it wasn't true at all, because here we are. We have our president who is 4 times jabberdoodled, and he's also been face diapered up, who now has it. And you know, what happened to isolating yourself for up to 2 weeks, you know, or a few days at all? You know, he was out at the podium, and where was it? It was at Italy, somewhere recently. And he was at the podium and he had that, you know, that sea cough. He's coughing, coughing, coughing. And, you know, then he's trying to drink a little bit of water. And then wifey poos out the very next day that he said he had the sea. And she's running around like crazy instead of her isolating herself. So what is going on here?
He actually went and shook hands right after he coughed into his hand.
Yeah.
So how come they get to do all that?
And you know, they've been hammering, when did he get it, and when were his first symptoms? That we have that video from him showing symptoms in Israel, and that he's had the symptoms for quite a while.
Yeah, he has. He was in Israel a little over a week ago. So, you know, nothing like spreading it all over the world when you go from Israel to Saudi Arabia, and then up to where did he go? Pennsylvania, or I don't know. He's been all over the country here too, supposedly. So yeah, you know, this stay home is only for us, folks.
Well, you know, this
rules
guy,
for thee, and
go ahead.
Rules for thee and not for me.
Absolutely. Bingo. And that's been the only consistent theme with any of this, because, you know, they kept changing the rules and they kept trying to isolate us more and more and more. But they were out there at different parties having good times together. They were, you know, backstage. I said this to Mike the other night, John, that they're backstage before they're all entering, you know, the podium to give speeches, these leftists, and they don't have any face diapers on back there, and they're shoulder to shoulder. And right before the cameras hit the camera angle, they start putting them back on. So yeah, there's been many inconsistencies here, but the only consistency is that they get to do what they want and we don't.
But
go ahead,
the
there,
American
John.
The American people are waking up to all of this. I mean, this is very treatable through therapeutics, and we've dissemination multiple times. The protocol, Dr. Zelenko, frontline. So take care of yourself. Keep your immune system intact. Stay a pure blood. Taking 1 or 2 vaccines. I would just pray to God that you wouldn't take and do any more harm to your immune system, because we know that if he truly received 2 vaccines plus 2 boosters, he has 10% of his natural immune system intact, and everything else will have to be done through gene therapy. Look at the therapeutic that they're giving him. That's exactly the design to assist his immune system now with targeting COVID that it would not do. On demise, he would be in very serious risk right now. I still think extremely high risk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if that's the case, if he really took those vacations, he very well could be at high risk. So here's a thought, and we've talked about it a couple times already. John, you're still breaking up really bad for some reason. So here's a thought. You know, is this part of the exit strategy, folks? Is this part where he gets sick and he doesn't come back from it? It's just a theory that some people are kind of talking about in some of the circles. I don't think that he even took that stuff, to be honest. I think a lot of that was just absolutely show. I don't think these people are crazy enough to take it, because they know what's going to happen. So if he did, then he could be at high risk, like John says, 10% of his immune system left after taking number 4. But is that all by design? Because some people say, well, he's going to be ushered out here real soon. Well, why not use that for kind of the vehicle to get him out of office? Just a thought.
Well, the thing is, the man hasn't had a very good run so far. I mean, what is it? 2 weeks ago or so, he fell off his bike. Then he's turning around off the podium, shaking hands with invisible people, and now he has the sickness. I mean, how much more is this man gonna be able to go through before? Boom, bada doom. He's bye bye Biden and no longer. So I agree with you. Who knows if there's a method to this madness, and it's all just for a visual to get one of our favorite ladies representatives in the presidency, Kamala. Maybe it's time that we celebrate that thought and kind of embrace that.
Oh man, it'd be more like one of these.
We'll have to have a barbecue.
Absolutely, absolutely. But it is ridiculous because how come once again now his his physician, John's not coming forward. Nobody's talking about this. Nobody's saying anything. They're just hush, hush, hush on it all. And it's just amazing to me that he's getting away with this kind of sickness and behavior. We remember Mr. T, all he had to go through with his physicals, all his doctors had to go through all the time, saying, hey, Mr. T's fine. His mental capacity is fine. His physical health is fine. And it's just kind of crazy. Mr. T did put a thought out there, wishing him luck, saying, I hope you get well soon, Mr. Biden. And I hope you can recover as well as I did and as quick as I did. So, he's got good wishes from Mr. Trump.
What do you think there, John?
Well, there's a reality. So we know is mentally challenged. And in his dementia that we don't have is any information on the vacation and we hear of long COVID, people that suffer in their mind that they brain fog, one brain cell ticking, and then you get COVID. What does what's going to be the long-term effect?
I think for some people it is real. And I want to be clear. It's not that I don't believe that that sickness. John has got me almost.
I know, right?
Saying those
I'm like,
words.
hey, don't.
John is so used to being on Podbean where we don't have to talk in code. He's got me almost saying some of those words again. The sickness is real, and I know for a fact the sickness is real. My mother contracted it, and we had to get a therapeutic to help save her life. So the sickness is real, but the problem is I think what's worse than that is actually the vacations that they want you to pump in your body. Those therapeutics that have been out there for a long time. Have great success, and nobody's talking about it. If you're new to LWN, you're not going to hear lamestream media talk about the therapeutics. You're going to have them pumping the propaganda of the vacations. If you don't know what the vacation is, it's stuff they put in your shoulder. So it's just, we got to be careful what we say in chat too, because those buggers like to take us down for that too. It's just the censorship is unfrickin' real. The censorship is unreal. If you guys can hit that like button for me, I would appreciate it. Share this out. It really helps the channel grow. Like, subscribe. All of that is really helping catapult us into a whole new level here. But I just don't even know what to say anymore. It's so crazy.
I think
when we talk.
Go ahead.
Well, I wanted to speak to censorship. When you have verification that we're putting out, been 6 months ahead of mainstream, lamestream media, our listeners, and so the censorship of truth, verifiable truth, because the one thing that Tucker did, very same same things in the data and information that we were in February. Well, he listed that. So now it's verifiable stream media. So for Facebook to continue this censorship, there has to be some for people that choose to censor truth. And that's all we're a truthful news source.
You broke up really bad there, John, but I know what you're saying because you told me earlier. So what John is saying is now that the truth is finally coming out, now that the facts and all the research is starting to come out into mainstream here for everybody to actually finally start to see, channels here like LWN and others have been putting that truth out for months and months and months. What John is saying, for those who have suppressed the truth, they've got to be held accountable because they've hurt people. They've hurt people really bad. Some of them will live through it, but some of them did not survive. So what John's saying here, I know it's hard to hear him, he's breaking up, is it's time for these people all to be held accountable for what they've done. And that list is so long, it stretches from lamestream media all the way up to the top, all the way up to that guy that stands about 4 foot tall, looks like a little troll, goes by the name of Flip Floppin' Fauci. I think he's getting ready to run. I really think that he's got a bag packed and he's getting ready to get out of Dodge because he knows people are going to come for him here real soon.
Well, absolutely. Remember, he announced he's going to retire. And, you know, all these media types that had that ticker running up there about all the people that contacted the C word and stuff over and over to create that fear factor to, you know, make people rush out and get the jabberdoodle because they watch that ticker over and over, day in and day out. Now, it never said how many people survived or anything. It was just how many people caught it. And that's the thing you have to remember with viruses. They're contagious, yes, but as they mutate, the more they mutate, they get more contagious, but less dangerous. They never get stronger. They never get more deadly. They get less and less deadly and less of a problem, unless obviously you have different situations, you have different things that it attacks, bad lungs, bad heart, stuff like that. But the thing is, it gets less and less dangerous that way, and it gets more contagious because, you know, I've had it twice. So my thing is that, you know, you do have to be aware, and it is real. But when you jump to listen to these talking heads in the media that don't want to tell the truth, that want to suppress it, you have to ask yourself why. Why are they doing this? Why aren't they coming out now and changing the numbers? We saw over and over again how the 3-letter health agency kept having to back out numbers. Then we watched how the testing that people were taking were bad. Some, you know, it was positive, not positive. And, you know, I had somebody that came up to me the other day at work, and they were saying, they're an adult. She's about 57, 58, and her son's in her 30s. And she was saying, you know, my son was coughing and coughing. And I thought, oh my gosh, you have to go get tested. So they went into it got tested. Okay. Guess what? The coughing hacker boy had nothing. She had not a symptom. They tested her and she had it. So my point is, you don't have any symptoms. If you feel bad, you know you feel bad and you treat it. But you don't get all paranoid taking tests over and over and freak yourself out, because that's not good for your immune system anyhow either.
No. Stress is not a good thing. And the therapeutics now are so widely verified. It's massive. And Tamie, if you've had it twice, great shape with your God-given immunity. There are no vacations that can match your natural immunity today. That's a great research that was just released that are purebloods who have contracted and survived the virus, people that have vacationed multiple times and they're said to be up to date, that after 90 days, now with the boost that goes negative as far as their ability to contract the next, to where a person who is unvacationed and has had COVID, the natural antibodies are still at 90% efficacy. Very huge.
Yeah, that's a good point, John, because Tucker actually brought that up too. To answer your question, you can go to Frontline Doctors to get get a prescription for those therapeutics. I think it's frontlinedoctors.com. You can check that out. But he made the great point, just like John is here. How come people that have gotten the vacation are contracting it more than the purebloods, more than the ones that haven't received the vacation? And like John says, your immune system, if you have a healthy immune system, is more apt to fight it off better than you taking the vacation. And that's the camp that I've stayed in this whole entire time. I believe I've had that sickness at least twice. Both times it definitely put me down for a few days, but so does the average flu. I get the flu about once every 5 years roughly, and when that happens, then I usually am bedridden for a good week, and this was before 2020. So it's I believe it's just same strands, just different names, and it affects everybody differently. If you have a compromised immune system, if you have asthma and other things that contribute to poor health, obviously, whether you get the normal flu or you get this thing that they've tried to push on us, you're going to struggle a lot more than probably normal people. But there are things you can still do to boost your immune system and fight that off without having to rush out there and get something stabbed in your arm there.
And don't forget, they were telling us to put the coverings on our face, which was not healthy either. That compromised our immune system. A lot of people got upper respiratory allergies or sinus infections from wearing those because they're dirty. The contaminant stayed right there. So it was a perfect storm of things, per se.
Yes, it was.
Really, children suffer with that, and you got to look at what they're going back now. So that's pretty sad. And I know people in California are fighting it. They have to. That's
you guys,
we've got to take that battle.
You guys have to fight it in California, because I just reported 2 weeks ago LA County is getting ready. Well, they've already done it. They're putting it back on their kids, just like John says. That's the worst thing that we can do to our kids. It's mentally destroying our children. Thank you, Laura Fisher, for the coffee she bought. She says, God bless you all. Thank you so much for that coffee. I really do appreciate it. I want to move on to the next subject here, John and Tammy. I think we beat this one up pretty good. We beat it so good it looks like a Joe Biden. He can barely walk. He can't climb stairs. He can't ride a bike. He got beat so bad. I think what really happened to Joe Biden was when he went to go up the stairs, or when he stopped on that bike, he got hit by a golf ball that Trump was swinging over there on the golf course next to him, and it just happened to smack him in the head, knocked him down. That's what I think really happened. Anyway, Tammy, I'm going to let you go ahead and lead this segment off. I know you had a few notes that you took.
The one about Bannon. So Bannon was found guilty today in federal court in D.C. on both counts of contempt of Congress. So the jury did deliberate for about 3 hours or so, but Biden's defense team was ready for this. They anticipated a guilty verdict or whatever. So there's different things that they're gonna pursue to try to get rid of this and stuff. His sentencing is scheduled for October 21st. He could face up to 1 year in prison for each count, so that'd be 2 years. But there's a judge that has to rule on the defense motion to dismiss the charges, and that could do something as well if he dismissed it, though they think it's unlikely the judge is going to dismiss that motion. So we'll have to wait and see. Bannon didn't look too worried, and I think he basically told them to stick it where the sun don't shine, and they didn't like it too much.
Yeah.
What did he even get charged with? And to answer your question, John H., yes, I have seen the challenge. So there
Yeah.
is actually a challenge going around on YouTube, Facebook, you name it, TikTok. It's the Biden Falls hashtag challenge, and it's people laying in the street with a bike on top of them, having somebody take a photo of them, and it's the Biden bicycle challenge, and it's going viral. It's actually pretty funny.
So, to answer your question, he was found guilty on 2 charges of contempt of Congress, Mike, with challenges to the validity of subpoenas of the J6 committee. So, he was accused of defying that. So, that's what he got charged with.
Oh wow!
How
All right. Well,
many Americans be found with contempt of Congress?
I probably
Right?
could right now.
I know.
Yeah.
He didn't seem worried and stuff.
Worried.
And remember, Mr. T signed off on him going there. He said, "You go ahead and do that." He had to sign off on it, and he did. So I'm sure there's a method behind that madness too. And don't forget, the 3-letter agencies did raid Bannon too before, and he's been through a lot. So for him to go through all he's gone through, he doesn't seem too worried. So we'll see what comes out of this. But I think we're going to find something out way before October 21st, which is what the sentencing day is supposed to be.
It's possible
he's
that
already
Bannon could hold a key to something.
well, and he's already stated that he's going to file appeals, so he takes it to a higher court. Sooner or later, they will have to be heard, and that's what this judge wouldn't listen to anything. Mr. T appointed a judge, but he wouldn't allow him to bring in anything to have people on the J6 committee. He will testify in front of the judge to why it was even necessary for him to give sworn testimony to them, and what was their right to demand that from them. Because when you go in front of Congress, that's not typically a criminal, unless you just go in there and lie. But it's not a criminal investigative process room, and that's what they're trying to treat Mr. Bannon as. And I think his appeals higher level and get it up to where there will be a lot of evidence that he will be able to enter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly kind of my thought on it. He doesn't want to enter any evidence in the lower courts. I think he wants to take it all the way to the top. So again, I believe that he may be a key to something. What that something is, I have no idea. But Bannon is no fool. And neither are the people around Bannon. So this isn't like Plato court here. He's not going to play around with the little kids. He wants to go all the way to the top for some reason, and I believe there's something behind it for sure.
Well, yeah,
he has a pretty good legal mind.
Mm-hmm. He has that too. Yes. Mm-hmm. And I was going to say, they're going to do anything. The left's going to do anything for distractions and to take all the people around Mr. T down and to try to make sure Mr. T doesn't run again. It's very obvious with the people they're going after and they're attacking, like they have even when he was in his presidency. So, the people that are committing heinous crimes, open borders, all these people that, these illegals that are raping and murdering people, they're not worried about them at all. They're worried about Steve Bannon.
Yeah. That tells it all.
Mm-hmm. It's really sad what these people are going after when there's so much other stuff going on in this world. We're worried about stuff like Bannon and J6 and what suit is Trump wearing today and all this other crap, but yet they can burn cities to the ground. Nobody cares. They can cheat in November events. Nobody cares. Hell, we could even give our husbands inside information right before a big stimulus bill comes out that funds a chip manufacturer that he just happens to buy $1 to $5 million worth of stock in, and nobody seems to care. But you know what? If we say the wrong word here on LWN, then we get censored, we get taken down, and all this other crap happens. I think, frankly, people are getting sick of it.
Oh,
Well, they are.
absolutely. It's
Yes.
Go
Did you
ahead,
guys?
John.
What of that is when you look at the charges against the folks that and the people that broke in, but the ones that were let in. If you look at comedians' little team that goes into and they were escorting back, and they go back in, and then the Capitol Police Justice System says, "Oh, there's no charges. They,
Yeah,
we don't
too.
think we could win." Here's the thing: it's the same exact charges of 50% of the people charged with J6. They same exact charges, and they let them political ideology versus the people that don't share their ideology and without due process.
Mm-hmm.
You know, here's something else that I see people talking about in the chat. That's right too. So this specific person who just bought stock was also arrested just a short few weeks ago for a DUI, and he seems to be getting off on that too. This is just insanity, the stuff that we see. These people believe that they're above the law, and I think as Americans, as patriots, it's high time that we show them that they're not above the law, that they need to abide by the same laws that they create for us, the American people. And it's time for us to hold these people accountable. We've been talking about it for a long time. How do you do that? Well, it's time for you to roll up your sleeves and get involved. Get involved at your local level. What I thought was really great tonight before this Trump speech is somebody had sent the broadcasters a text to let them know about certain candidates that are running right there in Arizona, and they're letting them know, hey, make sure that this guy doesn't get in the office because he did this, this, and this. He's tied to this person. There's photos of him actually partying with the people that were part of what happened on November of 2020. So they were putting that information out and allowing the voter population there in Arizona to know what the truth is, so that when they do go to that box, they know who to cast their vote for. And I thought that was really great tonight. And LWN is going to be part of that. We'll be putting that information out as the midterms get closer here, and let you guys know what's going on and who to pay attention to, because these snakes are constantly in the grass, and they're always trying to get in.
Well, they're always trying to come up with these. Well, they do come up, not trying. They do come up with evil plans for distractions. And with all that coming up, because remember the other night, Mike, I talked about that Project Veritas busted the tech guy from CNN was talking about how the next big pandemic is going to be the climate change and all this. And what did he say? They're going to play video over and over again, thumping it into our brains about, look at the ice melting, look at this happening, look at all the economic aspects of this. So that's the next big thing. He said just with the C word, it didn't last as long as they anticipated or whatever, right? Because they said, they pushed that agenda. Mm-hmm. And he said, the good thing about this climate change is this has been going on for a long time, and it's got legs and it can last years. So imagine what they're going to put us through and the images we're going to see and the tales they're going to tell to get us all paranoid about that.
Well, we got to pay attention to this current administration because the word on the street is he's getting ready to use his pen and do an executive order to usher in an emergency act for a climate emergency. These guys don't ever stop, man. And it's high time that that we let them know that this isn't acceptable anymore. And we need to vote all their asses out, to be honest with you. We need to get every one of the rhinos. And listen, I want to be clear here at LWN too. Just because there is a candidate out there with an R behind their name does not mean I support them. There are lots of R's out there that need to be gone too, and some of them need to change the R to a D. I'm really big against Mitt Romney, Liz Cheney, Turtle Man Mitch Connell. Who's the other guy that just came
Kevin
out of closet the
McCarthy.
other? Kevin McCarthy and Lindsey Graham. Listen,
Oh,
those people all have R's behind their names, but they all need to be voted out. I'm telling you right now. So you're not safe here at LWN, even if you have an R behind your name. We'll expose you. We'll put it out there, and we'll keep everybody informed, especially during these midterms and the next cycle in 2024.
Well, let me give you guys a reality about climate change. I had to stand on stage twice with Dr. John Casey, and I know I've shared that with you, Mike, but he was worked for dentist for decades, and his deal and his study and how sun impacts the earth. I watched him one time, and he took the stage, and he gets a huge. We're in a nice hotel conference room, and he gets a picture, and he fills this picture full of half water, and then he goes ahead and he goes in and he wrote the book that you can still get on Amazon, Dark Winter. Everything that they say, and he was terminated along with like 15 scientists when the first time that they termed global warming, all who studied different aspects of the earth and the climate on the earth on it, and then they were fired 2 days later. But at any rate, so John goes and he gives a beautiful presentation and really just totally wrecks their whole narrative. And before he leaves the stage, he goes, by the way, do you see flowing this picture? Because the ice is melted. And not one.
It's unreal.
Then he told us, he told all of us, he goes, look up and understand displacement. And yeah, it'll come up out of the water and you got these big hues. But then as it melts, and if it works, the sea level is not going to rise because it's just displacement. It was turns back to liquid. And it was like, wow, no lie. But 1990 is when we actually, and Billy Boy Clinton, Al Gore, the tobacco magnate, the guy that sold cancerous tobacco, made their millions, was with R.J. Reynolds. But Al Gore often accepted the Rio Accord in Rio de Janeiro and using climate for redistribution of wealth. And you can go back in the United to 21, and you can, if you want to do a deep dive, you can find out all the lies and what they wanted all the world to have a $17,500 a year and everybody to be fat and happy.
Absolutely. You're correct on that, John. We're going to wrap this up, folks. So I'm going to have to skip John for the final thought. You're still breaking up really bad, John. We're only getting every other syllable or so there. Nobody's understanding you there in chat. Let's roll into final thought here, because I think it's important for people to know. I'm going to go ahead and kind of give, I hate speaking for John, but I'm going to give a little bit of final thought for him, because I know when he called me on the phone, there was something that he really wanted to press upon you guys. So I'm going to do it for John tonight because he's breaking up. But Tamie, I'm going to go with you first, and then I'll give my final thoughts.
Well, I'm going to say once again, just pay attention, stay alert, look around, pay attention to what's going on and look at the bigger picture. You can zoom in for definition on a certain story or a certain instance that happens. But then once you do that, pull back out and try to tie the other things that have joined it, like Steve Bannon today being found guilty on 2 counts of something. Go back and start watching the stories that came out on him and what they started chasing him after him and why, and just get the bigger picture, because you know what, we're only getting bits and pieces and most of it are half truths. So I just got to say, be diligent. Things I think are going to get a lot tougher. There's going to be a lot more that's going to be coming out on things, and you just have to pay attention. Don't be so closed-minded. And that's my final thought.
Thanks for that, Tammy. Well, here's my final thought, and I'm going to tell you guys the phone conversation I had with John. So it's kind of his final thought, my final thought, because he's breaking up so bad. You're not going to be able to understand what he's saying. So he wanted to press real hard tonight to let everybody know that's watching LWN that LWN is the news. We are your news. We're here for you guys each and every day. John and Steven work really hard on digging up facts and bringing it to the table for you guys. Tammy is too. And the cool thing is yeah, there's skeptics out there, and yes, they always like to call us conspiracy theorists. But the funny part is, it's a lot of what we put out here at LWN becomes conspiracy fact 6 short months later. And John just wanted to really reiterate the fact that we're not going anywhere, and we are actually we're going to be climbing the ladder here real soon. When we go off to the Truth Summit and come back, it's going to be a game changer for not just us here at LWN, but for you guys here at LWN family, because we're going to be able to bring you guys up-to-date information coming right hot off the press. So we love the fact that you guys have joined us each and every night. You subscribe to us, you hit the like button, you share us out. There's so many people sharing out right now that every social platform I go on, I end up seeing one of our shows that somebody shared out. So that's pretty cool. So really appreciate John being with us tonight. Tammy, thank you. You guys, thanks for joining us tonight. And who knows what's going to bring to us over the weekend. We may have to hop on here if there's something breaking. So just letting you guys know. We don't normally work on the weekends, but if there's something that needs to get put out, we'll definitely be here.
Yeah, thanks for everybody for joining us this late. It's a late night Friday night. It was a fun little quick show. So, we have to get the information out there. You're right, Mike. So we pop on whenever we feel the need to. So thank you to everybody for joining us and signing up when we put out the events out there, and so you get the notifications.
Absolutely. Great point, Tammy. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us tonight. We're scheduled to be back Monday, but we'll see what actually I'm scheduled to be back Monday. We'll see what happens over the weekend. But don't forget about Jay and Tina over on LWN Trinity, and it'll be on Facebook Trinity as well. So they have Sunday service for you guys, and it's truly amazing. So love you all. Have a great night, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Wins.
So as far as the Patriot movement, and that's what LWN is, we are part of many patriots out there searching for the truth and delivering the news like it should be delivered.